titled as Biosynthesized Nitrogen-Zinc-Codoped Coperoxide Nanoparticle for Photocatalytic Activity, which is Bandgap Engineering of Nanomaterials. So this work is very critical to advance our understanding about nanomaterial semiconductors. My name is Yohannes. I'm from Borana University. I have a VS degree in chemistry from the University in 2029 and relating my academic qualification 24. I have a chance to serve as a chemist, lab chemist, researcher, and lecturer at Mediolanum University and Warner University, respectively, since 2020. And during this study and career time, I have developed a strong interest conducting research and sustainable solution for catalyst design, energy green energy by using nanotechnology, and in this themes published several peer-reviewed articles, and 3 are under review process, and also I had 3 positions in different journals as a board member and a peer reviewers. So this my experience gives me a strong experience on data analysis, protocols, generally lab techniques, and handling lab instruments that are advanced experimental laboratory instruments. So this is very important, and why I came here to present my researches. So for your reference, here these all are my previous articles which are published in different journals. And so this one's the 5th article, which is selected for this event, which is entitled as Biosynthesized Pure Copper Oxide, Nitrogen Copper Oxide, Zinc Doped Copper Oxide, Nitrogen Zinc Codoped Copper Oxide Nanoparticle for Photocatalytic, which is enhanced optical properties. Now it's published at Next Material. And the last one is short communication, which is early was 1 month ago, the Journal of Recent Advance in Nanomedicine and Nanotechnology, which deals about exploring the extraordinary properties of copper oxide nanoparticle for nanomedicine and nanotechnology. So my presentation focus on this 5 main points. The first one is background, the motivation, what motivates me to conduct this research, and what the main objective, which is derived from problems, and what type of method that is experimental procedure would been applied for this experiment, and the first one is main finding, which is the main finding which is from this research, and the conclusion and the future work which is recommended for the period for future researchers. Now I continue with background and motivation. As you know, today we are in industrialization year or era. So this leads to rapid urbanization and industrialization, results in the producing of a large amount of chemical pollutant, which are persistent and non-degradable, that are released into environment without improperly treatment, which are leads disorder of natural ecosystem, that leads the effect of healthy for human thing, and generally it causes the disorder of ecosystem and aqua life. So this allows to develop the innovative solution to face this limitation or the effect of these chemical pollutants. For as we know, the organic pollutants that are especially dyes are very complex due to their chromorphor. They contain chromorphers that has able to able to form problems for human and aquatic life when they are entered in the environment without properly treatment. So previous time there are a lot of conventional treatment methods are developed, but that are cost and inefficient. So this is the main cause. We look to nanotechnology. So nanotechnology offer eco-friendly alternative for degradation, but face challenges with efficiency. So due to this, that is very important to look another alternative strategy which is able to overpass the above challenge, that is a limitation of its efficiency for the degradation. So for this one is Bandgap engineering of metal oxide nanoparticle with suitable dopants expected to meet a standard requirement of nanoparticle for desired nanotechnology application. For example, nanosensing, electrochemical, sustainable catalyst design, and so on. So for that matter, is copper oxide is a very suitable metal, and a lot of scientists look for this material due to its extraordinary properties such as structural characterization, optical property that has excellent solar light absorbance, indirect energy band gap, catalytic activity, and so on. So this work is the main objectives which are categorized under these sub-specific objectives. The first one is biosynthesized pure nitrogen-doped, zinc-doped using copper oxide, using the leaf extract of Phytonostaches abyssinica as bio-reducing and stabilizing agent. Modify the semiconductor of copper oxide, Nitrogen-Zinc-Codoped copper oxide to by using the synthesized copper oxide, characterization of the biosynthesized nanoparticles by using the advanced analytical techniques, optimize band gap and morphology for enhanced photocatalytic degradation, and the final one is evaluate performance against methyl value under sunlight radiation. So this diagram indicates the preparation of such as abyssinica leaf extract to use as a reducing and stabilizing agent for the preparation of nanoparticles. The first one is collection of the plant material from the field, then washed with clean water, followed the distilled water, then dry at room temperature, then dried by using mechanical grinder, and then the powder was heated, and finally we filter the extract by using Wattman filter. So the next one is biosynthesis of copper oxide nanoparticle. As you see in this slide, first 0.1 molar of copper sulfate as precursor, as copper oxide precursor used, and it mixed with leaf extract, which is filtered in a previous experimental session. Then this two one is mixed, and after that the pH of the solution is adjusted to 8, and after that the solution is stirred by using magnetic stirrer at 18 degrees Celsius, and then the precipitate material is transferred into for cancellation purpose at 400 degrees Celsius. After 2 hours, we obtain the brown nano powder, which is copper oxide nanoparticles, and the modification of the copper oxide semiconductor was conducted by adding urea, which is the source of nitrogen, at the stage of solution mixture. That means stirring the solution on the magnetic stirrer at the 80 degrees Celsius. After that, the precipitate was transferred to furnace for cancellation at 450 degrees Celsius. And the final, we obtain nitrogen copper oxide nanoparticle. The same experimental procedure was used to biosynthesize zinc-doped copper oxide nanoparticle by replacing urea with zinc nitrate, which is the source of zinc. And The modification of copper oxide nanoparticle with nitrogen and zinc was conducted by applying the same experiment, but by addition of two precursor sources, that is zinc nitrate and urea, at the source of nitrogen at the stage of solution mixture, and then the precipitate also transpired into permanence for cancellation, which is used to remove the organic contamination from the nanoparticle at the 500 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. After that, we obtain the gray nanoparticle, which is nitrogen-zinc-codoped copper oxide nanoparticle. After that, the material was taken for experimental characterization by using UV, XRD, FTIR, and same for morphology. Then the application was conducted by applying these types of experimental procedure. The first one is we take the 1 gram of photocatalyst photo nanocatalyst, that is copper oxide or the modified nanocatalyst. Then that nanocatalyst is reacted with 50 ml of artificial pollutant, which is methyl blue, and reacted at dark room, that is called the dark reaction. Then after that, the solution is exposed for direct sunlight, that is photoreactor or exposed to sunlight. After that, the solution is centrifuged after the completing of the given time, that is 30 minutes. Then the centrifuge, but after centrifuging the solution, we extract some amount of kilo solution, and that solution is transferred into UV visible to measure its absorbance before and after the degradation. So now I am turn to result parts. From our results, simply we observe a color result which indicated different chemical reactions. At the first stage, we have brown, red, aqueous leaf extract, which is the natural color of the plant, and when we mixing with blue color, which is aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Then after mixing these two solution, we observe dual dark brown solution that indicates nucleation and growth of the solution. And after that, after adjusting the pH of the solution, we observe a green color that indicates the oxidation of the copper oxide from copper 0 to copper neutral. After that, heating the solution, the color changed to dark brown color with precipitate, which indicate the formation of stable nanoparticles. So the another one is the UV visible results. This indicates the optical alteration by applying UV visible, and also this the spectrum of UV visible indicates the successful synthesis of material at nano scale. As you see in this slide, the codoped copper oxide nanoparticle indicates the maximum absorption peak at 311 nanometer, and in the same fashion, zinc doped showed the maximum absorption peak at 296 nanometer, and zinc doped copper oxide nanoparticle showed 293 nanoparticle, the maximum absorption peaks. These all peaks are found at the range of surface plasma ions that confirms that the preparation or the synthesis of material at nanoscale, and the material has ability to respond for optical property. And here you have another picture that indicates the bandgap engineering of the materials. As you see here, the photon or the bandgap engineering for the pure copper oxide nanoparticle is 1.72 electrovolt, which is the maximum bandgap. And after applying some modification of the primary material, the bandgap engineering for nitrogen-doped copper oxide nanoparticle, which is reduced to 1.44 electrovolt, and by incorporating or by modifying the semiconductor of copper oxide nanoparticle with zinc, which reduce its band gap 1.29 electrovolt, and by doping or by modifying the copper oxide nanoparticle semiconductor with co-doping, that means by incorporating with nitrogen and zinc, the band gap of the material is decreased into 1.07 electrovolt. So the another one is functional group identification of phycnostaches abyssinica extract that indicates a lot of biomolecule present in that plants that give us the evidence that plants serve as effective stabilizing and reducing agent in the synthesis of pure doped and co-doped copper oxide nanoparticles. Here you have another FTIR for the four types of synthesized materials. That is the first spectrum that indicates about the copper oxide nanoparticle functional group, that different types of functional group which is present in these materials. As you see here, we have the very important peak, which is the characteristic peak of copper oxide bonds, which is seen at the 601.7 centimeter inverse, and it is shifted to it showed the real shift from 167 centimeter inverse to 529 for double doped copper oxide nanoparticles. So the another one is same image and particle size distribution analysis findings. So the same image indicated the change of morphology for this material, which is a result due to the modification of its surface with nitrogen and zinc, and also these two materials. As you see in this picture, the image of same for pure copper oxide nanoparticle is rhombus and diamond-like shape, but after incorporating or by modifying the surface copper oxide with nitrogen, that morphology showed elongated and distorted rhombus and diamond-like particle, and by incorporating the surface of copper oxide with two dopants, that zinc and nitrogen, we observe that more irregular, dense morphology materials. Additionally, the particle size is also changes due to the incorporation of suitable dopant at the surface of copper oxide. So here we have another evidence for the alteration of optical property for the copper oxide nanoparticle by incorporation of zinc and nitrogen at the surface of this crystal lattice. As you see here in the first diffractometry, the peak of the peak observed for this nanomaterial is meets or equivalent with the reference data, which is recorded in international databases, and the peak or the flame which is present in this diffractometry is the same with the reference data, and the incorporation of these two dopants is clearly observed in the enlarged diffractometry at the right sides, and the calculated average crystal size is 38.995, 35.179, 35.0041, and 31.929 nanometer per pure nitrogen doped, doped and co-doped copper nanoparticle. This decreasing of average a particle size compared the diffraction peak broaden slightly shift from original sites, and increasing intensity due to the disorder and stress on the copper and copper oxide nanoparticles. So here the application part, the application of this material for photocatalytic degradation activity, this confirmation of the alteration optical material by using bandgap engineering with the suitable dopant, that is nitrogen and zinc. As you see here, the degradation of methyl blue is successfully achieved at a given time that is very short time. As you see for dark reaction, that the dark reaction, we know that the types of dark reaction is adsorption reaction. So the degradation efficiency ran to 40%, and for pure, and it ran to 4% for codoped nanoparticles, and at 30 degrees Celsius, the methyl blue color was totally degraded up to its degradation efficiency is 99.6, as you see here. So the photocatalytic degradation of methyl blue increased sharply up to 30 minutes, like assist the reaction that indicates sufficient time availability for interaction of methyl blue with the material availability of the active sites on the surface of as a day. And for long the reaction, there is no significant show. This indicate the saturation of the active sites, and these are the increased efficiency, which is caused due to increase in the the bioresponse active sites, increased charge carrier, and the suspension of recombination error that results the maximum degradation efficiency for nitrogen zinc copper oxide than the single doped and the pure copper oxide nanoparticles. Here, this one is the mechanism which show the photocatalytic degradation happen for these materials. As you see, and the diagram or and under the A, which indicates copper oxide nanoparticle with 1.7, 1.72 band gap release. But when we expose this material for sunlight, it absorbs some amount of photon energy, which is equivalent with 1.72 electrovolt, and after that, that forms a hole at valence band, and it forms electron at conduction band. This electron react with atmospheric oxygen, and it forms superoxygen radical, and at valence band, the whole react with water molecule, it produce OH radical, which is oxygen reactive species that react with methyl blue, that leads degradation products through photoreduction process. And when the superoxide radical react with methyl blue, that results degradation products through photooxidation process. In the same fashion, when we dove or modify the surface copper oxide with nitrogen, its band gap reduced to 1.44 electron volt, and when the whole produced at the valence band react with the water in the same fashion, this radical react with methyl blue, that leads the photoreduction process. And when we modify it is surface with nitrogen, that leads to formation of new state that is called N-type nitrogen doped new state, that is donor state at the below of conduction band, that results the narrow of conduction for the nitrogen doped copper oxide nanomaterials. And in the same fashion, when we modify the surface copper oxide with zinc, that leads the formation of new state the above of a valence band, and that leads the narrow of band gap to 1.29. In the same fashion, when we modify the surface of copper oxide with nitrogen and zinc, in that case, we observe two new states above the valence band and below the conduction band, which is narrow the band gap for this material to 1.07 electrovolt, which increases generally which avoids the recombination of hole and the electrons, that uh, responses of electron current, and generally this system lead to alteration of electro optical response for the materials. Finally, we examine the reusability and stability property for this nanocatalysts. So as you see in here, we observe the maximum degradation and we observe maximum reusability and stability for all materials, but the code of the material showed excellent reusability and stability than the pure and the nitrogen zinc coated copper oxides. So generally, conclude that the green synthesis using this material is effective and sustainable method. That means by using green root, that is the effective and sustainable method rather than chemical and physical methods. Nitrogen zinc codoped significantly enhance photocatalytic activity and the promise a route for eco-friendly water treatment applications and for future to explore the pure potential of nitrogen zinc codoped copper oxide. I recommend to use it for electrochemical about nanosensing, about nanomaterial and nanomedicinal, and also green energy production applications. So I have the acknowledgements, those all support me during my study and researches. And also I have the great appreciation for Nano 2025 tech company. So my presentation, let us think green, co-green because of we are here today. The world is looking for global warming, so that needs the sustainable approach and green method. Thanks so much.